one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Let's talk about it. I got a call maybe 2 months ago at this point from my health insurance. As you may know or may not know, I am chronically ill. I've been chronically ill for about 1.5 years, and for a few months I've also been unemployed. And so my health insurance called me to gently inform me of the fact that I'm unemployed, as if I did not know that, and gently suggesting that maybe I should go look for a job. As I said, I'm chronically ill. And so that entire call was very much a bullying call, you know. It was very obvious that they were trying to get me out of my assistance. And when I hung up that call, I was feeling terrible about myself. You know, I was feeling terrible about the fact that I'm chronically ill, that I'm unemployed, and that these things made them think it was okay to treat me a certain way. And so I really sat with that for a few days, actually. And then I realized, wow, this has got nothing to do with me. This is just about their insurance. This is about the fact that I want to save money. And this is a very common policy. And it has nothing to do with me. It's not a sign of my own worth. And I want to build on that story, right? Because, of course, we can say this is obviously ableism, which it is. And this is classism, which it is. But there's a deeper point there, right? The fact that I took that personally. That I thought I needed to take that personally. That I thought this means something bad about me. And that's what I mean by saying no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Because as soon as I realized that, right, that I was taking this to mean something about me, I realized that I was giving these people power, right? I was giving the person who called me power. I was giving the insurance power. I was giving them, I was allowing them to decide my state of mind and my self-worth. And I think this is a very common experience, especially if, like me, you've been a people pleaser all your life. Which basically means that your entire life you have been allowing other people to decide what you are worth, what you're allowed to do. Because by people pleasing, we abandon ourselves. We decide, you know what, my interests, my needs aren't as important as the other person in this moment. And I want to have compassion for that, because usually people pleasing, fawning is born out of a need for safety, for security, right? We're trying to gain not only our self-worth, but really our physical and emotional safety by keeping other people satisfied. And you have to realize that this is a trauma response. Like, that is not a personality trait. That is a trauma response, and that means it can be healed. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it means it is possible. Truth is that you teach people how to treat you, right? If you constantly let people walk all over you, they will learn that it is okay to walk all over you. And I know, because I've been there. Allowed people to overstep my boundaries. I haven't said anything when they hurt my feelings. I haven't made clear what requirements I have of a relationship. And I mean that in any sense of a relationship, right? Like, any relationship you have with another person, really any other being, needs to be built on respect. And I haven't made that clear because I haven't always removed myself from situations that were disrespectful to me. And when I began doing that, I lost contact with a few people, but my life changed. Like, my life really changed for the better, because losing contact with these people made me realize, wow, it was never about me. It was truly never about me. Like, you know, sometimes you get in your head when people mistreat you. For example, like the call I mentioned at the beginning, right? I could be sitting here like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? I did nothing wrong. I got sick. That's not a moral failing, right? And like, this is, as I said, has nothing to do with me. They don't know me. They don't know my history. Even if they did, they wouldn't. I mean, they know my medical history, right? And they still don't care. This has everything to do with them and their motivations, which in this case are saving money. But this also applies to personal relationships, right? So some time ago, I had to set really strong boundaries with some people, and for years, really, I've been trying to piece them, right? For years, I've been doing everything, applying every communication skill, trying to be so understanding, to see where they are coming from, and that is good, you know. It's good to do that, to try that, but there comes a point where you realize you can only work with someone who's also trying to work with you. So that wasn't the case. And so I had to set some strong boundaries. And after that, I was, distraught, because these are very, like, very close people, used to be very close people in my life. And I was discussing this with my best friend. And I said, what have I ever done to them to make them treat me this way? And she said, they would have treated anyone this way. And that changed so much for me, right? Because so much of people pleasing is about control. You're trying to control the situation, again, to feel safe, right? But you're also controlling the situation because at least then you can do something, right? And if, like me, you're like ambitious, then and so that usually means you're like acting your life out from the flight response. That means you are so used to working for everything, for working for your worth, working for respect, working for like basic human decency. And when you realize that there are like just some things you cannot work for, like I cannot earn respect from a person who refuses to give it, right? I can't I can't work myself into understanding with a person who is committed to misunderstanding me. And that hurts, right? That hurts. We want to be liked. Humans want to be liked. It really hurts, especially when your safety has always depended on pleasing other people. But it is necessary. Like, it is a necessary step in really untangling yourself from toxic relationships. And again, I mean that in any sense of the word, platonic, romantic, whatever. And it is also important for your self-growth. Like, you cannot be a self-actualized person if you're always sitting wondering what everybody else is going to be thinking. Because the truth is, people are going to think, like, people are weird, okay? People are very weird. And I don't mean that in the sense of my last video, in the sense of weirdness as something to be embraced. No, I mean that weirdness in the sense of people will feel entitled to you. They will have stupid standards that they think you should live by. They have limiting beliefs they will put on you. And you cannot let your life be dictated by that. And this comes, again, back to safety. Because when you've learned your entire life that your safety depends on pleasing people, this will, like, letting go of that will feel extremely scary. But I had a realization the other day, namely that even people pleasing never kept me safe. Because even though all my life I've been doing nothing else but trying to appease everybody, it didn't keep me safe. It didn't earn me love. When my health collapsed last year, it didn't make people stay. At least not people who didn't care. Like, the people who stayed, the people who supported me, were people who are genuinely loving people, right? And people who were only vultures, people who were only looking to get something from me, they had to fall away. There was nothing I could have done to change that. And realizing that, wow, I've been holding on so tightly to control. I've been holding on so tightly to this attempt of earning something I can't even earn. That it never occurred to me that it didn't even keep me safe. Like, it wasn't worth much. It made me sick, right? In fact, it made me chronically ill to try to do right by everybody else. And this applies especially if you're a woman, right? Did you know that 80% of people who suffer from autoimmune disease are women? And why is that the case? Because women are socialized to fawn. We are socialized to just put up with everybody else's bullshit, to not consider yourself. That's like being a good girl, right? Like, you're a good girl if you're quiet, if you just do what you've been told. You don't want to disrupt. And that this literally makes women ill. It kills us. And so I really want you to sit with that, to consider, where have I been doing that? Where have I been self-abandoning? Where have I been trying to earn safety and love that someone never wanted to give? And to go inwards, right? To go inwards and connect with that hurt part of you. And maybe it's many parts of you that are hurt. I know it were for me. I know I'm still continuously finding new parts of me that got hurt. And give some love to that part. And if you're creative, which just means if you're a human being, then art might be a good venue for that. And I just recently made a video on that, about making the art your inner teenager needs. And you can do whatever feels good to you. Just realize that people pleasing and letting people make you feel inferior usually stems from not having a strong sense of self. Because when you know who you are and what you stand for, no one is going to be able to convince you otherwise. For example, my name is Genia. If you come up to me and say, hey Sarah, I'm not gonna feel addressed. Right? Like, that's not my name. I'm not gonna feel addressed. I'm not gonna make it mean something about me, right? I'm not gonna be sitting here. Oh my God, why did she call me Sarah? It's not my name. It's got nothing to do with me, right? I'm not making it into a story. Why am I making it into a story when someone is trying to make me feel bad about, whatever, being unemployed? It's it's not like a morally bad thing. Like, I can't be offended by that other than me genuinely believing that there's something wrong with me for that. Like, when you think about the facts of yourself that you feel people judge you for, or you feel that people try to put you down for it, really sit with the question, why is this hurtful? Why do I care? Do I hold shame about this? And I had discussion about this with my mother when I was younger. I don't know if I've mentioned this in this video, but I'm from an immigrant household, immigrant working class household. When I was a teenager, I had some difficult feelings about that growing up in northern Germany with my parents being from Kazakhstan, and some experiences I had related to that with people putting, beliefs on me. And I discussed this with my mother, and my mother said, when people are trying to make you feel inferior, they will use whatever differences you have and whatever power they hold over you. And for us, that is the fact that we are from another place. For someone else, they might be using something else. And that really opened my eyes. It comes back to the point of, it has nothing to do with me. People will just try to be using whatever they can get their hands on to put you down. So when you release the shame you hold about that, because I did hold some shame, I did hold some shame that I was at this elitist school and that I could not afford the things that were normal for other people. Like we didn't have a car. These people got Mercedes for their 18th birthday. Obviously, I held some shame about that. But once I released that shame, once I realized that my parents being from a different place, my parents working blue collar jobs, is nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, it's something to be proud of. Then no one can use that to hurt me, right? It's just gonna look stupid. Again, you can't call me Sarah. You can, but you're gonna be the stupid one, right? So the point is, when someone makes you feel inferior, really ask yourself, how am I contributing to this situation by abusing myself, by putting their judgments on me, by making it mean something about myself? Where do I hold shame, and how can I release that? And it's okay if you don't immediately know how to release that shame. Like, I talk about a lot of techniques on my channel, nervous system regulation, writing, art, whatever. But the most important part is not whatever technique you use to release that shame, but the realization that you do not have to carry it any longer, right? It's not yours. Someone put that on you to make you feel worse about yourself, and it's not yours to hold. It's not yours to hold. It's theirs. You can give it back. I really hope this video helped. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. It really means a lot because it helps me know what to make videos on. And yeah, I hope I'll see you in the next one.